hope I can't hear it.
Oh, we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to TTRPG. My name is Reecie, and I am the marketing director at Emerald City Game Masters Guild.
And I'm Nikki, and I am a game master with Emerald City Game Masters Guild.
So today we have like a little tea party going. We have Friday afternoon tea with us. She sent us some wonderful tea that we're going to taste test on our show. I want to show everyone my cute little teacup. It's antique. It's beautiful. This tea smells amazing. Did you already taste yours yet, Nikki?
I haven't. I was going to wait until I was on air to taste it for the first time.
Perfect. I was like smelling it, and it smells like chocolate, which is like really exciting. This is kind of what it looks like. It's kind of hard to see in the webcam, but there's all kinds of cute little leaves in here. It looks like the ingredients are oolong, cacao nib, pomegranate arils, honey, elderflower, and natural vanilla flavoring. So you ready to do a little taste test?
I'm ready. Okay. And I'm totally a slurper.
Yeah, I totally slurped it. This is really good. Has like a darker flavor to it.
Yeah, it's kind of smoky.
I like it.
Me too.
So I'm gonna interview Friday here. Friday is the CEO and mad scientist of Friday Afternoon Tea. Hi, Friday. Can you tell us a little bit?
Wait, let me transition this over.
More about
Hi, yeah, absolutely. I am so happy to be here and sharing tea with y'all. Thank you for inviting me. So yeah, a little bit about what we do with tea over at Friday Afternoon. We make tasty teas for thirsty nerds. That's kind of our deal. So you can find us a lot often at Comic-Con, gaming conventions, etc., as well as online, and also here on our own Twitch channel at Friday Afternoon Tea, where we talk about tea and also do other fun nerd things like play video games and craft and all of that. Today I wanted to play with y'all with some of our tea. So I did send you each a mystery tea from our existing collection to taste and see if we couldn't figure out some of the inspiration in terms of mood and personality behind the blend. Because what we do is we actually make tea that tastes like different ideas, different themes, music, pop culture, etc., by using my own personal bizarro neuroscience superpower, lexical gustatory synesthesia. So I literally taste ideas, characters, words, personalities, reverse engineer the recipe from my brain mouth, apply it to leaves and chocolate and honey and all that, and then you drink it and you get to taste exactly what it is that I'm tasting when I think about that idea. So what we're going to do is you're going to give me your tasting notes and see if you can't figure out kind of the vibe or the mood behind the inspiration of this tea.
I don't even know that my brain operates that way. That's amazing that you were able to describe it like that. I've never thought of associating tastes with like a certain memory or a thought, but
see, and that's all I know. It's so I never even think that people don't think like that. So I did hear you mention that this tea, you're getting some of the darker notes. I heard you say the words kind of smoky. Mm-hmm. I will let you know that one of the two oolongs in this tea is charcoal roasted. So it is actually roasted over charcoal. So that smoky note you're getting is real charcoal.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And then some of your other ingredients you're working with, you do have cacao nib. You do have elderflower. You've got honey, pomegranate seed, vanilla, and you are working with two different oolongs in the base though. So you've got a lighter oolong and a darker oolong there. So I'd like to invite you to feel the texture, like the mouthfeel, as we say in the tea, wine, chocolate, etc. industry, and just kind of see what sort of a feeling it gives you, like what mood it puts you in when you drink it.
it makes me want to there's a quote from New Girl where it's like
My favorite show.
Smoke a cigar and call a man about a horse or something like that. Like, that line. And so I feel like I should be sitting like at a big mahogany desk and like writing a memoir about my adventures.
I like the way you think. New Girl is my absolute favorite show, and I talk about it constantly. I quote it every day, and like, I remember this scene where like Winston is like freaking out, and Cece is like, "Do you want me to make you some tea?" And he's like, "Wait, how do you make tea?" And he's like, "Water and leaves, water and leaves."
And he's like, "Did you give me tea with caffeine in it? Jess never gives me tea with caffeine in it." Oh my god, that's so funny.
So I could just associate that like this puts me back into the loft.
I love that. I've never made a New Girl tea, but like this one might be an honorary.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about this in I'm in a Facebook group for New Girl where all we talk about is New Girl, and I'm gonna tell them that I talked about New Girl on my talk show.
They're gonna love it. That's so good. So I did hear you're getting notes of luxury. That's what's happening over there for Nikki.
Yes. Luxury.
Luxury notes. One of my favorite things about this tea is that while it does have very much the like actual tea leaf green material, so you might get, without the addition of honey and cocoa fat, you might get kind of a sharper, drier edge to it. The honey, vanilla, and cocoa all make it just really fatty, and they make it fill up the space. It gives it almost like a silky texture. Mm-hmm. But like a lush, or like a freshly oiled leather kind of a thing. So I feel like I'm with you. I'm with you in the study with the mahogany desk and writing your adventure memoir and all that. But I'm going to take it a step further and say that is like a freshly oiled leather, like overstuffed seat.
Oh, wow. Yes.
It's almost as if like you could be sitting and writing your adventure, and you would forget to even eat because it kind of like coats your stomach and makes you feel like you ate something with that like after taste that kind of lingers in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's very true. And honestly, really hit on something there, because oolongs are popular in China specifically for appetite suppression. They make you feel like you've already eaten. So they are one of those dietary aids in China. So it's really funny you would say that, because it's actually used for that on purpose. That wasn't the intention here, but I like that you're getting that sense of fullness, or that sense of having already eaten something. So I'll tell you, this is a tea that is really well suited to the season that we are going into, by which I mean Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Yeah, this tea is designed to be erotic. So your sense of luxury, your sense of like rich, woods and books and all of that, absolutely, you're completely on the right track here. This tea is called Ooh La Long. And every ingredient in it is actually an aphrodisiac. So yeah, I'm getting y'all in the mood for your show today. But yeah, so your chocolate, your honey, your vanilla, the pomegranate in there, elderflower, all of that, even tea itself, the polyphenols in tea are commonly considered to be an aphrodisiac. So I brought you really lush, luxurious, rich, full-bodied, sexy tea today.
Yes. Well, I got a Valentine from Friday. I feel so overwhelmed.
I was just really in the living room like, yes.
You know what? If that's a yes moment, I'll have to tell you all that I bought myself a bouquet of flowers from the grocery store the other day just because I felt like I deserved them. And I was like proud of that moment for sure.
Yes. For sure. You got to treat yourself. You know what? I bought 6 boxes of Girl Scout cookies for myself. I might share them with my teenager. I might not.
You don't have to.
That's right.
So Friday, what kind of made you get this idea of having like a nerdy tea shop? Like, where did that come from? When did it start?
Oh gosh. Well, I didn't actually know until I was about 17 years old that not everybody tastes words and ideas. I thought that was everybody's normal. And when I kind of learned that that's not how everyone experiences the world, that's not the filter everyone's reading through, it was really othering, and it made me feel really lonely. This is a sad start to a story, but I promise it has a super happy, delicious end. So I spent several years just feeling really like isolated, and like I didn't know how to just like talk like a normal human being, And then I got into tea in a really big way. My first restaurant job out of cooking school was at an English tea room, and I remember I had a Golden Monkey Chinese black tea, which is, it's called that because the leaves, it's a black tea with golden tips on it. And they say it looks like little golden curled up monkey fingers. And it's just so delicious. It is so smooth. It's so complex. I had never had a real loose leaf black tea before that moment. And it was a transformative sensory experience for me. I didn't realize that, that tea could have that many layers to it. I'd only ever had bagged like cheap grocery store black tea before. So I was like, layers in tea, surely not. And it spoke to me, but it spoke to me in a very literal, in my own language kind of way, where I felt like this flavor profile and this plant and I understood each other more than I felt like other people just speaking words could understand me. And so I became Hermione Granger levels of obsessed with tea. And I spent now I have spent half of my life, actually, as of this year, half of my life in the tea industry and studying tea obsessively. And I learned over time that I could translate the way that I experience things, the way that I perceive the world into flavors and kind of pick them apart and find a recipe and find analogs in the culinary world to express what it is that I'm feeling and that I'm sensing. And so I can speak, I can have conversations through flavor in ways that other people are able to with words. And, over time, clearly I've learned to run my brain through a translation circuit, so I can also communicate pretty eloquently at this point via words. But I have to say, it took a long time to not feel like there was something wrong with me, something wrong with the way I spoke, because no one could understand what I was saying when you run it all through a flavor translator. And it's also true that there are different words that have the same flavor. And so in my mind, they are the same word, even if they are not at all. Like I encountered it recently. I think I was trying to think of a word, and I can't even remember now what it was because it's just lost in the sensory filters, but it kept coming out rice cake, and it was something totally different, something completely unrelated. But it's like rice cake, Ziploc bag, and Band-Aid are all the same word to me. They all taste the same. So I can't tell the difference between them unless they're in context. So I've had to learn how to translate myself, obviously, because that's nonsense. That doesn't mean anything to people. So flavor is how I am able to clearly express things that I really want to say, and I want to say it right. So I've been able to relate to people via the medium of tea now for the past decade. I've owned this company for 10 years, and the more I reach out, the more I talk to people, the more I meet people and connect with them over tea and fandom, the more I realize it's not weird or wrong or bad or something that's, other than about me, that other people can relate to it too. It's just a different lens that most people don't think to look through. But we are able to find a connection point, and I can hand someone a tea that's, from our Firefly collection, like our Inara tea, the Courtesan's blend, right? It's our most popular tea we've ever done. And people drink it, and I say, this tea is designed to replicate the experience of an afternoon of evolving conversation with Inara over 10 infusions. It'll change, different flavor notes come out, and people drink it and they say, oh my gosh, absolutely. Yes, I get it. So it's like creating a sensory touchstone that people can come together over and relate to. And on a personal selfish note, I feel more understood when people are tasting what I'm tasting. So that was a lot to say. That's how I got here.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I really love the idea of like a nerd cafe. I actually work with Card Kingdom and Mox Boarding House, and they have a restaurant where you can go and play games while you eat. And so how did you put the 2 and 2 together to like make it a nerd cafe?
Sure. Well, my grandmother was an herbalist and my parents met in Star Trek Club in high school. So I really grew up in a household of we ingest plants and we talk about Star Trek, and that's what we do here. Oh, yes, Nikki. I love it. I've been wanting to get one of those too, but I want my captain's pips also.
Ooh.
Yes, I know. Oh, I have such a terrible story about that. I'm going to tell you real quick. I was working, I think it was Ace Comic-Con a couple years ago, and they had a tattoo booth there, and a customer overheard me saying like, oh, I've been really wanting to go get my communicator badge and my captain's pips tattooed here. And he felt a need to say to me, this, I'm just dishing dirt. We're friends. We're drinking tea. I'm going to do this. He felt a need to say to me, do you really think that you've earned those? I know.
Yeah.
I know. He didn't know me. He knew nothing about me. He just wandered up to my booth, overheard me say that to a friend, and felt a need to say that. Is that terrible?
You can't even put like all the times that those mansplained comments happen on 2 hands. Like, I don't have enough hands for how many times those happen.
Yeah, exactly. It was, I mean, yeah, I love this in the chat, straight to jail. Yep. I know. Yeah, no, it's been enough of my life spent I've been going to Star Trek conventions since I was a tiny baby. That was like the family thing, baby's first fandom. And, so I've been doing cosplay and hanging out at conventions since I was old enough to walk. And, I just don't even hear that kind of stuff very often anymore. That was just one of those where I was like, well, now I'm extra gonna do it. Right. So now I'm doing it for myself and at that rando who I like never will probably see again. So there. But yeah, so I don't know, the idea of here are things I'm into and want to geek wildly about, and here are things that other cool people are into and want to geek wildly about. And we can drink a tea that tastes like those things and talk over tea, and that connection, and also, just culturally speaking, worldwide, tea is a beverage that has been designed and curated as a social experience. People connect over tea. That's the point. And so the idea of taking things that we're so passionate about and things that we just want to talk with our friends and doing that over tea, it just is so intuitive, and once I started seeing any small amount of success in fandom tea, I was just like, okay, well, there we go. This is what we do now. And there's something very personal about it, about drinking something that is a sensory reminder of a shared passion. It just adds another layer.
They're connecting over tea and they're connecting over TTRPGs. Like,
exactly.
Like the best part about gaming is like how it can connect you to other people. So I love that that's kind of like the backstory behind your whole idea, because it's completely not selfish when you're trying to provide an experience for people to be able to connect with each other.
That's true. Yeah, it's sharing a table on multiple fronts. Too,
because I've always found it kind of difficult to get into playing games just because I don't know how to connect with people. And thankfully we have video chat now, since we can't go outside very much anymore, to be able to play games like with Emerald City Game Masters Guild. That's what we do, so that's awesome. So tell me, I hate this question. I don't even have an answer for it myself, but I'm gonna ask you anyways. What's your favorite game?
Favorite game?
Yeah.
Golly, I think I have 3 different answers for different like, I guess, platforms, contexts, whatever. For tabletop, I think it has to be divided into like board games and role-playing games, right? So for board games, there's this freaking rad, like gorgeous artwork, hex-based space exploration game called Xia. That's XIA. Just a small indie press made it, and we had booths next to this designer at like Game Storm a million years ago. And I saw the game and I was like, shut up, it's gorgeous. All the space artwork and like nebulae and planets and stuff, freaking beautiful. And I'm a sci-fi nerd from like 4 generations back. Like, this is our thing. So I love that one, Xia. And for role playing, I've been really exploring a lot. I've just started getting into Dungeons and Dragons, but then I've also started exploring a lot of other systems lately. And I've been playing a lot of like PBTA, you know, kind of structured games, and I'm really into that style with the play books. Is very appealing. I think it's really entry level friendly. You can just kind of grab one and just sort of go. So I got to play a fantastic game of oh my gosh, I'm gonna draw a blank, of course. Epillion. The one it's like Baby Dragons, My Little Pony, like a magic school. So cute, so cute. And there's one that's coming out very soon that I'm excited to run. It'll be my first time GMing anything, and I'm very nervous-sided. I'm doing this next week. A game of Pasión de las Pasiones, which is it is built on PBTA, but it is a telenovela.
I love it.
All the playbooks are different like archetypes of classic novella tropes. So you have like La Empleada, who's like, you know, always getting in over her head and like just in hot water, and like the big, you know, ingenue eyes, and her inventory is things like a surprisingly sexy dress and a jangly set of keys, you know, and you've got like El Jefe, like the mob boss, and he has things like a dangerous yet alluring scar and all those things. And like you get special moves based on doing things that like make like the abuela sitting at home says, pobrecito, and like the La Empleada gets a special move, you know, or like El Caballero does something really daring and cool, and like the teenage girl watching at home falls in love just a little, and he gets some kind of a boost. Like it's so cute. It's so cute.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I definitely grew up watching a lot of telenovelas, so like I would love to play that game sometime.
Yes. Okay. Well, we need to get a friendship game going.
Yes, we should. I'll share with you that I accidentally became a GM one day, and they were like, everybody roll a dice. Whoever rolls the highest gets to be DM tonight. And I'm like, okay, I rolled a 20. So they're like, okay, Reecie, what do you want to play? Like, we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons, but you get to create the world. And I'm obsessed with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, being Bachelor related. So I like made up this game where like each player coming in was like a new contestant for The Bachelor. Any dating simulation type thing, I'm obsessed with it.
Oh my gosh, for sure. That's so good. Do you know that I think it's Persephoroth is putting together like a D&D like Bachelor situation. Like
I was like, am I gonna have to write this game myself? But it's already out there.
Well, it's a special like campaign I think that she's been putting together, and I'm so excited for it. I wanted to audition for it, but I was like, my plate's a little full. I don't think I can take that on right now, but I cannot wait to see it. It's gonna be a good time, guarantee.
I love this because, you know, I've been made fun of and like kind of like told that I subscribe to gender norms and stuff because I like watching The Bachelor. I'm like, it's good TV, okay? These are real people. Weird stuff happens. Like, you can't write, you can't make this stuff up, right?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. The concept of enjoying something and being told that you're being like anti-feminist because you like something that might be prescribed by society as feminine. Like that's, I don't know if that's not how feminism works. I have really strong feelings about that because, like, you know, I'm into tea and like cute things, and I like My Little Pony, and I like tea parties. I like wearing fancy dresses. I love a new lipstick. Like, I have a total like a Barbie love. Like, I am obsessed with Barbie, her whole thing, her whole story, like everything. I think she's incredible. And, you know, the idea that somebody could tell me that because I am into things that society has decided are like overtly feminine or feminine prescribed, that would make me anti-feminist is so bad.
I know.
I don't like it.
There's a lot of having to constantly prove yourself, and I experienced that a lot because I'm a former beauty queen, and they're like, beauty queens are just dumb and they only care about their outside looks. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is some hard work and people don't really know much about it. And it's a constant need to prove that I'm worthy because I'm a beauty queen, but I'm also a gamer, and like having to like basically fill in all the blanks of who I am. If I'm even like having to describe what my ethnicity is. Like,
I was gonna say.
Like,
yeah,
it's not.
I'm biracial,
That's
and it's like a whole thing, like feeling like you constantly have to like prove I'm like, I've got light skin, but I'm also half Mexican. I'm Irish Mexican. It's a very common combination for a Californian. It's not even unusual.
Are you from California
like,
too?
What's that?
You're a Californian too.
Yeah. I'm originally from San Andreas, so I'm from Calaveras, like Gold Rush country.
I'm in Central Valley with all the cows,
Oh, yeah.
Up the 5, that's where we are.
That's it. Not that far. Yeah, my parents grew up in Lodi, and my abuela is still there.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was born in like the Turlock Modesto area, so I grew up.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so when you brought up telenovelas, I was like, Escándalo. And I was thinking of my best friend and her amazing mother bringing me into the house and calling me, hija, and feeding me and all these beautiful things that she would do. And then her love of telenovelas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Maria, our artist, she sent a message. It says, Reecie being a former beauty queen makes so much sense. She's chef's kiss, beauty, and a queen.
No lie.
Well,
so true.
I've had you on for a while here, Friday. Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of like talk about or plug in here?
Oh, I love you.
Oh, I'm
just happy to be here for friendship and tea and nerd, joy. Like I'm so excited to see what y'all do with this show. So excited to be here. Delighted to be an ongoing sponsor and to continue to promote all the cool stuff that y'all got going on here. Love it. And we'll be in touch about a game of Pasión.
Without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. And thank you so much for being involved with us. And I'm looking forward to tasting more of your lovely teas.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can follow Friday at Friday Tea on all the social media platforms, and then Friday Afternoon Tea on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, Friday. All right, friends. So we're about to bring on Christiana, who is a beautiful baby angel and will be singing us a song. All right. And you are on.
Hey friends, I'm Christiana, and I will be performing for you right now an original piece. It's a little sad, girl, but don't worry, I'm fine. I just really find a lot of joy in writing songs, and it's been a really great outlet for me during quarantine, where I've had a lot of time to myself. So this is my first original ever song, and I call it Going Back. I don't want to say goodbye, and every time you see me cry, you can't stop yourself from empathizing. I should just walk away. You don't even want me to stay, so I guess there's nothing left to say. I had a dream last night, and you were in it, and I feel guilty for it. But when we sleep at night, we aren't in control of what presses on our souls. And I don't want to be part of you anymore. I'm heading back to shore. Drown me in your sea, but I'm coming up for air, never going back there. Now we finally said goodbye, and though you left me high and dry, I got the better end of the bargain. I know you're watching me. Do you like what you see, or is happiness hard to believe? I had a dream last night where I was sitting in a little dinghy. The ocean opened up wide, but I stood my ground and I turned the boat around. And I don't want to be part of you anymore. I'm heading back to shore. Drown me in your sea, but I'm coming up for air, never going back there. And when you're all alone at night, do you remember our last fight? I was on the bed and I was crying. We were gonna build a home, but you just wanted space to roam. You took your love and left me alone. I'm where I'm meant to be, starting over and finding four-leaf clovers. I've stayed away from the sea, and though I fell off track, I am never going back. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Christiana. That was amazing. I'm definitely trying not to cry right now. And so is everybody. That's exactly what everybody's commenting. I was reading while you were playing. So you helped a lot of people get some good tears out today. All right.
Okay, so I am super excited to announce our next guest is Jess Markrum. She is a game designer and creator of Ennia-nominated Book of Seasons. She was part of the Princess Project, which I got to run for her, which was crazy nerve-wracking, but so much fun. And we are so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here, and oh my gosh, Christiana, that's so beautiful.
I know, I like brought out a tissue because I was like, okay, if any of these tears spill, I'm gonna have to. Okay, I've been told multiple times I'm too quiet. Okay. Can you hear me better now?
I mean, I heard you fine to begin with, but
I think in Google Meet I'm fine, but for the rest of everybody else, oh, you know what I think it is? It's OBS. Which I'm still learning, friends, so bear with me as I accidentally mess with things by opening the wrong window. All right, so Jess, my first question for you is what is like a tabletop RPG that you are like dying to play? Because I already know you do so many things and you write for so much D&D. What is something you're dying to play?
Oh, there's so many. Like I have a huge backlog. I really want to play Dream Askew, Dream Apart. I really want to play Witch Fated Souls. Later next month, I think I'm finally gonna play the Labyrinth TTRPG. Those are the ones I can think of right this second. But yes, I am excited about those games.
That's awesome. And then I've been thinking a lot lately about how your work in your quote-unquote day job, not that I don't think that your work with D&D and writing is secondary to that, but how does your day job influence the way that you write and the way that you DM?
Well, my day job is as a trauma therapist. And so I do a lot of sensitivity reading for trauma and mental health. And in terms of how I run games, I use a lot of sensitivity tools and try and check in with people after the stream, make sure everybody is okay, and have like an open door, open seat policy, basically, to make sure that everybody... I just, wow, I will speak in sentences. I just started as a GM for Magpie's curated play program. And they were like, give us a list of whatever safety tools that you use so we can put it on the website. And I was like, here's 20. Because I am a big fan of safety tools. So I was like, I use all of these. But in terms of how I write games, I end up when I first started writing them, a lot of them were kind of about either unpacking trauma or about characters dealing with trauma. And they're not all about that, but I realized, especially in anthologies, it came up a lot with the Princess Project, where it was like, these are so great for kids, except for this one that's really dark, and it was always mine. So yeah, please use safety tools with my games.
Absolutely. And I can relate to that. Whenever I GM for Emerald City, I'm always starting at the beginning with, these are the things that I don't allow for my own safety. And then what are some things that I could keep out of the game to make you feel safe? Because especially as femme-bodied people, we've not had that experience, and we won't talk about that because that's not what the show's about. And we are going to spill the tea on tabletop, but you've talked enough about being a woman in gaming. So besides trauma, what else would you say?
What's that like?
Besides like the trauma that you write into your games, and I can say from running one of them that definitely played a part in Golden Plates. What other things inspire you? Like, are there specific women that you're inspired by, or people?
I take a lot of inspiration from old fairy tales and mythology. Some of them are women from mythology. Actually, the first PBTA game I ever wrote was called Squad Goals, and I specifically wanted to highlight lesser known women from mythology. So basically, it's a superhero team up game where you play as a woman from world mythology, and it kind of functions as like a Saturday morning cartoon game, but you're women from like all over the world from world mythology. If I were to make it into, I've been wanting to expand it, and I want writers who are not me on it, because I'm a white person and am not like the correct voice, or at least shouldn't be the only voice to be telling all of those stories. So were I to expand it, I would want other writers to come help me build out the universe of it. But I wrote it for a game jam with no budget. And so that was, it was fun. And that was me being inspired by different women in mythology. A lot of times I just want to write a monster though. So I'll be like, you know what? I've never played a game with a dragon in it. Or when I made the Big Book of Cats, that was just, I wanted to write about cats.
Absolutely. And I know you have a cat at home that was probably a little bit of the inspiration for that.
Yeah, I did have 3 at the time. I lost a couple during quarantine, but now we have 2, and they're very good boys.
That's cute. So, okay, we've talked about you writing and DMing, but I only know you as a player when you played, oh no, my brain, what is her name? Merida. When we did our Princess Project. But tell us about your PC, your player character. Or an original character that's not based off of an amazing Disney princess and her mom bear.
Oh my gosh, I so rarely get to be the player character. I'm usually like a perma GM.
I know the feeling.
So I'm trying to think like what was, I'm currently about to be playing Vampire the Masquerade for the very first time in a one-shot on Wednesday. And my character in that is basically, she's a chimichi, I think is how you pronounce it, even though it looks like it should be simiche. But she's basically a siren of the silver screen from the 50s, whose manager told her that, like, hey, I have a way for you to live forever. And she was like, ooh, like, I'll be famous forever. But really, it was her getting turned into a vampire. So now she lives as an impersonator of herself.
Oh, wow.
That's an inception.
It's so meta.
She had to, like, die young when she stopped aging.
That's amazing. And who's GMing that for you?
One of my friends, Alan Johnson, if any of you saw Paws and Claws when I was running that either on Onyx Path's channel or on my own channel, he played Grimly Greyhound. And then he later played the devious lizard, Erasmus.
That's awesome. Okay. What do you...
That's not streamed. That's just like a private game. Because I think he wanted to play vampire. It was like, play vampire with me.
That's awesome. What do you love about Tabletop RPG?
Ooh, I like that you get to explore different sides of yourself. I know so many people who have explored different aspects of their sexuality through tabletop. Like, they maybe didn't realize that they were queer until they played a queer character. They didn't realize that they were non-binary or trans until they repeatedly played characters of another gender. And I like that we can explore uncomfortable subjects in a safe space.
Absolutely. Okay, now time to spill the tea. What's something you don't like about Tabletop RPG?
I don't like how much racism seems baked into a lot of it. Oh, hi! But Lauren, you mentioned cats and you summoned mine. Come here, Trisket. Hi. Trisket, say hi to everybody.
Hi, Trisket.
Hi.
Aw,
yeah, I don't, and it's not every game, but a lot of times racism, sexism, sometimes sexual assault even are baked into games. And I don't think it's necessary or wanted.
100%.
I say as I just pick up my cat.
Cats are always wanted. All right. And then, like, when did you get into TTRPGs? Like, we had Friday, who was like a second generation nerd. Like, how'd you get into it?
So I wasn't allowed to play RPGs when I was a kid because of Satan. So I remember even when we got America Online and they had the like RPG room, my mom was like, you are not allowed to go into that chat room because it's for Satanists and it's run by the devil. And I was like, oh, RPGs are scary. So the first RPG I ever played to completion was about 5 years ago. I tried once in high school and it didn't work out. But one of my friends ran a game for me and a bunch of newbies. About 5 years ago. And then I just got hooked.
That's awesome. What was your first RPG?
Tunnels and Trolls.
I don't think I've actually heard of that.
It came out like a year after D&D.
Okay.
So it's very old. But it has... it plays kind of similarly, but it's all D6s. And there's more races you can play as. So I was a fairy. I was only 7 inches long. Tall. And I wore tiger claws. And I would like fly at my enemy's eyes.
That's amazing. I love that. I think for me it was, I like played a lot of computer-based RPGs and turn-based games. Like I played Heroes of Might and Magic, and I just loved building my own worlds.
I played that one.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And I when I joined Emerald City Game Masters Guild, I got to get access to Arc and Forge, and my like 13-year-old self was like so pumped for this map making software. Do you use anything to make maps for your games?
No, I'm kind of infamous for my shitty maps. I make truly terrible maps. They're available for free on my Patreon and the Freeflings Patreon because they're so bad. They're either hand-drawn squibbles in a notebook or they are clip art that I make in Word.
That's awesome.
I mostly run Theater of the Mind, so if I actually need a map for something, it's sad.
That's awesome. So I have, so teachers, we have these like big anchor chart papers that we like write posters on. Well, they make that paper with 1-inch grids on them. And so I got we paused for a second. There it goes. Okay. So I got some of that, and I like was hand drawing maps for a bit, and then COVID-19 happened, and I haven't played in person since. But yeah, so how is did you play in person before, or have you always been online?
I had a home group that I played in person with, and when I started streaming, that was online, because it has to be. And then when COVID happened, my home group, both of them actually switched to online. But since I already had the streaming set up, it was pretty easy to make that transition.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I'm saying that's awesome a lot. I'm going to have to write some new phrases on sticky notes. Awesome. Reecie, do you have any questions for Jess?
How did you find out about Emerald City Game Masters Guild, and how do you know everybody?
Nikki, I think. How did you find me?
I had been following you on Twitter for a while, and I don't remember, I just remember when you started following me back, I freaked out and got really excited. I had been replying to your posts, and how did we? I think I got the nerve once you had been following me, and we would comment on each other's posts for a bit on Twitter. I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to her and see if I can run one of her games for her, because I feel like so many people who write for DM's Guild and Drive Through RPG don't actually get to play their games. And why would you write it unless you really liked it? And so I was like, I'm going to reach out to her and I'm going to see if I can run one of her games for her. And then I immediately, once you said yes, I immediately regretted it, because then I was like, oh no, now I actually have to do this. But it was like, oh, see, my girlfriend even remembers how excited I was when you followed me back. And so yeah, it blossomed from there, and we had so much fun. And it was with Christiana was there. We had Bella, who everyone knows as Boondoggles, played the most amazing, hilarious Moana, right? She was Moana.
Yeah.
And Chris was Jasmine, and Caitlin she's our general manager and our social media person for Emerald City. Oh God, who did she play? Now I can't remember. Ariel. She was Ariel. Yes.
She was Ariel.
Oh my gosh,
we're a few minutes in and find out that half our crew is divorced, princesses. And it was just so much fun. And I think ever since then we've just been hey, you want to be on my thing? Yeah. Do you want to be on my thing? And then Jess is actually who taught me how to use OBS. Jess is amazing. I love her so much, and I totally look up to her as a mentor in this space. So yeah, I just think you're really cool, and I'm glad that we got to be friends.
Twitter can really bring in some really good blessings. I know I definitely have that fangirl freak out when certain people follow me back too. So I know the feeling also too well.
I mean, it gets a probably deserved reputation as being a hellscape, but I've also met some of my very best friends there. So
Absolutely. And I haven't like, I think it's because I have so few followers. I haven't had any bad experiences on Twitter yet. But I also turned off notifications for anyone who isn't following me. And that really helps too. So like, I don't get a ping when somebody who doesn't follow me comments on something I post. I won't see it unless I like go back to look at it. And that's been really helpful too, because there was a post where a guy said something rude to me and I didn't know for like 2 weeks. Like I didn't know until someone else responded to him to like stick up for me. So yeah, it can be.
I didn't even know you could do that. Like everybody definitely like stay safe out there on the internet. Like Twitter can be a great place, but it could also be a really scary place and not good for your mental health. I know that I kind of ran away from Twitter for like almost 40 days because I had a bad experience. So it's really heartwarming to hear about the good experiences and the good people that you meet. And even some of my followers reached out to me and they're like, Reecie, are you okay? You haven't seen you around in a while. I'm like, that's the type of interaction that we need out of Twitter, not cyberbullying and just like a lot of no content warning on some of these triggers and stuff like that.
Yep, I agree. And I mean, and Twitter is actually how I met Chris, who's about to play us another song. And I remember one time she hadn't posted in a few days and I reached out to her and was like, are you doing okay? Is everything all right? And she's like, I'm just busy. Everything's fine. And so you do form these, you know, a lot of the times it's parasocial, but the more like that we play in these games together and connect in, you know, person on virtually, the closer we get to people. And I have so many friends I'm looking forward to hugging in person when we can again and can go to cons. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jess. Is there anything else you want to plug? Anything exciting coming up? I know you've made a couple of new announcements.
Yeah, you know, the Galentine's Day is coming up and I'm running a game that I wrote, Dumpster Fire. So it's a lasers and feelings hack. If you want to be a raccoon or a rat or a possum or a book, all living in a dumpster together, sign up for that and play games with me.
Yes, thank you for mentioning Valentine's Day. That is coming up on the 13th. You can join via Discord. Tickets are available at emeraldcitygamemastersguild.com.
And there is a chat. There is a link in chat for that. Definitely sign up. I'm running a game. Lauren Urban is running a game. We have Rowan is running a game. We have so many amazing people. Dee is running a game. You know, Dee is It's the Riddler. And so it's going to be so much fun. And if you want to play as a kindergarten trying to steal the cookie jar, then sign up and buy a ticket and support the amazing charities that we are supporting. And you get to be one of my kinder cuties. All right. So, Chris, we are going to transition over and let you play us a second song. Thank you so much for coming, Jess. And let me get my musical guest up and transition.
Great. Hi, guys. Thank you again for everything that people are saying in chat. It's really encouraging because I've never performed these songs live before. So I guess I'll have to keep making music. But anyway, this is another song that I wrote called Feel Something. Waking up every single morning, no warmth in my bed. I look into the bathroom mirror, remembering what I had. Kissing me at every red light, can't get enough. Order extra fries, 'cause you could always call my bluff. Will I have that again? Did I ever really have that the first time? But I don't miss him, but I miss being kissed, making love on Sunday morning, then laughing in church like we did something dirty. Sitting in the driver's seat, I see ghosts I've left past, pulling the weight on road trips so I could take a nap. Showers in lukewarm water, your hands in my hair. Hot tea with too much lemon, but at least you cared. Memories fill my head, but they don't tell both sides of the story. I don't miss him, but I miss being kissed, making love on Sunday morning, then laughing in church like we did something dirty. I don't miss the lies, I miss sweet goodbyes, sneaking food into the movies, slow dancing to jazz like we're Ella and Louie. I wanna be loved again, I don't care who it's with, I don't care if they hurt me. When it tragically ends, we'll know it would have been worth it all to feel something. I hate feeling like this, I have so much to give. Tell me, what is the secret to finding your own true love? Paradise in a hug, sunrise to sunset. Thanks. Oh no, it looks like everyone's crying again. Stop.
All right. Thank you if you have been waiting. Thank you so much for waiting. Today, OBS had an update, and I guess my computer and OBS are not getting along. But we're back, and thank you so much for watching our very first episode of TTRPG. We are so honored that all of you came to watch us, and I am just so excited. Make sure you buy tea and buy some tickets to our Galentine's event, because it's the best day of the year.
Yes, and anybody who uses the discount code for TTRPG at Friday Afternoon Tea will get 15% off. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we will be back with TTRPG. We will be streaming it at the end of every month on Sunday.
All right, friends, we'll see you later. And if you are interested in being on TTRPG, definitely DM us on Twitter, and we would be happy to get you into the show. All right.
Thanks for spilling tea with us.